Okay, well, let's talk about the day 19 exercise. And there are only three questions. I don't think any of the question is super hard for you guys. But I want to talk about the last one. Say for the last one, the requirement is I'm gonna mask all the occurrences of the keyword from a sentence, and then I'm gonna mask each of the occurrence of the keyword with a certain number of the axes. And so, how do we decide how many axes are we gonna use? And the answer is, say if we are masking out a keyword with four characters, and then for each occurrence, and we want to mask out that occurrence with four axes, because in the original keyword there are four characters. Okay, well, how do we start? Well, say I first want to get the length of the keyword, so I can do the length equals the length of the keyword. Okay, and then after we have the length of the keyword, the next thing is I want to create a mask string. So say a mask string equals the length multiplied by x. So how do you like that? So we know how the length of the keyword, and then I'm going to create a string of the length that many of the x's. So I'm doing a repetition here. A string and then repeat this many of the times. Okay? And then after that, I want to do a replace. So say replace the string equals the sentence and then dot replace, and then we have two parameters. The first one is the old string, so that should be the keyword, and then what is the new string? The new string should be the mask string, right? And then eventually you have to do a return, so the return should be the replaced string. So I guess that's it. So how about we run this code and see if it works? Okay, so I think the second one, okay, let me see. So the first occurrence should be Thoreau, and then, okay, Thoreau is replaced here. Is there another case? No, that's only one case. Okay, yep, so I think this is correct. Well, anyhow, I don't think the day 19 exercise is very hard, but I want to move on and talk about the project 3. Well, project 3 is going to be a huge one. Well, and how you Oh, I do encourage you guys to start early on the project 3 if you haven't started. Okay? So for this part, you are gonna process a huge data set. It is really a huge data set. And if you load this data set and you see, okay, the first this is the header, and we have the title of a movie, the year of the movie, the length of the movie, the rating of the movie, and then we have a string. So that is the string of 0 and 1, right? And they correspond to a total of 6 genres. Well, and for the genre, it could be 0 means that is not in that category or genre, or 1 means that is in that genre. Okay, and then for that 0 or 1 string, and then there could be multiple zeros or and multiple ones. Okay, well, how do you process this dataset will determine whether doing this project is going to be easier or really hard. So I want to show you how I would like to start this project. And the first step, of course, is going to be I want to load this data, right? So let me create a file called movie selector. So movie selector. Okay, and then the first thing is I want to open this file, of course. So file lin equals open. It should be the movies.txt, and then I want to do a read. Okay, and then, well, if you want to visit this file again, this is a tab separated file. So the delimiter is a horizontal tab instead of a comma. So I want to do a how about I try to load all the lines first? So lines equals a empty list. And then I want to do for line in file in, and then I simply want to append each line to the lines. So lines dot append, and after that I want to do a line here. Okay, so I read each line, and then for each line I read, I just send it to a list called lines. So I'm doing and nothing else, but I read all the lines and then keep all the lines as a list of the strings. Okay, so let me do this part. And after that, how about I just want to do a print lines, and then let's see what we get. So okay, well, it seems that that's a really huge list of the strings, right? And you see, and there are backslash t, and that's the delimiter that's the delimiter of the each line, right? So okay, so it seems that the lines works okay, and after that, I do want to do a little more processing. So how about I create another list called processed movie data, and that is another empty list. And after that, I want to do for line in lines again. So we know we have already loaded all the lines into a list called lines. So actually here, I can do a filein.close because I don't have to touch this file again, right? And then after that, I have the for line in lines, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a split. So values equals the line dot split using the backslash t, and then I'm gonna just append the values to the process movie data. So process movie data dot append, and then it should be the values. Okay, so I'm gonna just use the backslash t as the delimiter, and then split one line into multiple fields, and then those fields will be a list, and I'm appending that list into the process movie data, so that will be a nested list. And now I want to see the process movie data, and then let me show you what this processed data is going to be like. So let me run this again. Okay, so for each of the movie, now it will be a sublist, right? So the first one, the first field, that will be the movie name. And the second one, that is the year, right? But for that year, that is the string 2000. It's not the integer 2000. So that is the thing you want to change. And the same thing for this one, and this should be the length in 94 minutes. And again, for this 94, it should be a integer 94, not a string 94. And okay, and for that part, that is the rating, and that the next part, that is the genre. And we want to touch this part. We want to get rid of the backslash n, right? So anyhow, well, we are here, and we got this data kind of processed. Okay, and one thing I don't really like is about this part. So for this part, well, we have a total of 6 genres packed together into one string. So that's the part I don't like. So how can we do this? Well, and if I want to touch this part, and that is the index 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that is the index 4, right? So I want to first touch the values with the index 4. And the first thing I want to do is I want to get rid of the backslash n. So I want to do a slicing on the negative 1. So I want to get rid of the last character. So value 4 equals the value 4, and with the last character taken care of. So I'm going to get rid of the backslash n first. And after that, let's do another thing. That is the genre. I want to split that into a total of 6 parts. So I'm going to do a split genre equals the value 4. I want to cast that into a list. So I'm grabbing a string like this, a string of 6 digits, 0 or 1. And then I want to cast it into a list of characters. And after that, I want to append the list of 6 0 or 1s into at the very end of the values. So I'm going to do the values equals values plus split genre. Okay, so my goal is I want to split this part, the genre 0, 1 string, into a total of six separated fields. So let me run this code and show you what I'm gonna get. Oops. I think there is something I missed. Okay, yes. This line should be moved all the way to the very end because we want to finish processing the whole line and then split the genres before we append the values to the processed movie data. Okay, so let me run this again. Okay, this is what I want to have. So, well, the movie name, the year, and then the length, and then the rating, and after that, well, instead of keeping those 6 zeros, I want to have 6 separate zeros. Now, well, for each of the zero, it corresponds to a specific genre, right? So for this part, and I will say, well, for these 6 zeros, we don't need that anymore. So how about we remove that? And that will be values. It should be del values with the index 4. Okay, I want to get rid of this part because the same information will be represented in the next 6 fields anyhow. So let me run this part. Okay, so well, this data set is now a little bit cleaner, but remember there are more things to do. And for example, like the year and the length, and you want to cast them into the integers. And then for those zeros and ones, if you want to, you can change them into integers also. Okay, and then with the processing of the data set, and then the rest of the functions and the rest of the functionalities, hopefully it will be a little bit easier for you guys. Okay, so that's a hint for you guys and for the day 19 exercise and also the project 3. And project 3 is going to be a big one, and make sure you put enough time to work on that. Okay, so good luck, and I will talk to you later.